So this is the latest horror film to be dumped into cinemas early on in the year, but does this one make a splash? What is up everyone, welcome to another Movie Worm review. This is going to be for the film Underwater, and this is directed by William Eubank, stars Kristen, Stewart and Vincent, Cassel. So this tells the story of a deep sea research centre about to implode due to an earthquake, and there's a few survivors down there and they have to try and make it to the surface. Of course, there is no contact from the outside world whatsoever, so they've got to go and do it all themselves. But they aren't the only things down here. Something else lurks. Now, Kristen Stewart is in this film. I thought she was quite decent as the lead actress. She didn't knock anything out of the park, but she was good. I mean, a lot of people like to turn and say, Kristen Stewart can't act, or Kristen Stewart sucks, and I just think that's quite unfair. She's very much seen as the Twilight girl. I don't think she should be labelled as that because people move on in their careers. Look at Robert Pattinson, he's the new Batman, but he was once known as the boy from Twilight. So I think people need to allow Kristen Stewart to move on from that and don't just label it as the Twilight girl all the time. Now when the movie kicked off, I was quite impressed. It just threw us in the deep end, pardon the pun, but it did. This research centre is just coming apart, and there's some very tense action scenes. There's characters running for their lives. There's other characters trying to fix things quickly before it causes more damage, and I thought, this is going to be quite good. I think the film captured the feeling of isolation very well too, because I felt for these characters. I just kept thinking, oh, I would not like to be down there, and they are just staring into total blackness. They were against all the odds, and you felt it. And after a promising first 10 minutes, our group of characters decide to go to the next research centre as there are some escape pods there, and they see that as their way out. That's when the movie starts to go a little bit downhill for me. It was just them going from A to B. For the rest of the film, it felt like I was watching the same thing over and over. Of course, some little things do happen along the way, but for some reason, it just felt all too familiar. And as you can imagine from the movie's title, most of the film does take place underwater from now on. And that was the biggest problem for me. It's just a little bit of an eyesore. There's blurriness in the background. There's lights flashing on and off. It's very hard to see. It was just a little bit annoying at times. And I do get deep down in the ocean, it probably is pitch black or very, very dark if you like. But that doesn't make great viewing for the next hour or so. There's a film that came out 30 years ago, The Abyss, and their underwater scenes are way better than this, or more watchable if you like. And there were one or two moments in this film where things take place outside of the water in like a base or a vessel, but that was when the movie looked at its best. Also, there's a lot of CGI on these things that live down here, and it's not Rise of the Planet of the Apes CGI, it's more It Chapter 2 CGI. Yeah, the bad stuff. Now let's just get on to the movie's characters. Vincent Cassel is here. I think he's a fantastic actor. He was great in Black Swan, great in Irreversible, but here he just doesn't really bring anything to the film. He's just there. And as for the rest of the characters, I just didn't really care for them. There's the guy there as filler who just does nothing because we need more characters. There's the girl who's terrified of everything, the old cliche. And there's a guy who's trying to be funny all the time and he just comes off as quite annoying. So, like I said at the start of the video, Kristen Stewart is the one likeable character, really. Everyone else, yeah. So as the movie moves on, there is an attempt to give some of these characters backstory, but you just don't care by then, and it's a bit of a weak attempt, really. Now, towards the end of the film, it does pick up a little bit. It stopped feeling the same as what I was watching for the past hour or so, and for the last 20 minutes it goes into a new direction. I don't know if it was actually great what I was watching. It just felt refreshing compared to what I've been seeing. Now, I've seen a lot of people compare this movie to the Jake Gyllenhaal film Life that came out a couple of years ago. I can see why that's a fair comparison. It's just the only difference is one is in space and one is underwater, but both groups of people are isolated. The biggest difference with that is it has likeable characters. The enemy or the villain is way much more interesting than what we have here. And overall, it's just executed so much better than this. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this film. I'm going to give Underwater a 5 out of 10. I do try and find the good in films all the time. And there's a little bit of entertainment on offer here. However, it just didn't fully connect with me. Now, you might enjoy this film. I've seen a lot of people who do like this movie, so maybe make your own mind up, but for me, it just felt a little dull, and a film I'm very likely to forget in the near future. So at the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. Now, the fun fact for Underwater is this film actually finished wrapping up 3 years ago, but it's only just come out now because Disney bought 20th Century Fox and pushed the date back. For that reason, I do not know. Okay everyone, I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you want more reviews or more videos that are coming, please subscribe, and if you want to comment underneath, I will reply to every single one of you. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.